mind, body, and my soul. I'm trying to get control. I gotta hit the goals. Time's not in your control. I gotta make the most of the time slots before we end up in a pine box. Y'all could be suckers, but I'm not.
Yo, you ready?
Let's do
So
it,
to the
man.
subscribers, we appreciate y'all. Damn, I didn't even see what episode we on. What episode we on, Pat?
I think we're on 39.
That sound right.
Yeah, it's about
Episode 39. Back with another one. iBall Network podcast.
right. Mhm.
I got my guys here. My boy P Boat back like always.
What's going down?
Yes, sir. I'm the host, Jay Meeks. I got my guy Thirst. What's good, Thirst?
What's going down? What's going down? We in here.
I'm back with another one. We've been off about 2 weeks, about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the process, we, the Western Conference and Eastern Conference finals concluded. We have the finals matchup now. So when this show drops, it'll be finals day. So it's gonna be the Bucks versus the Suns. Should be a good series. Depending on Giannis's health, is probably, where the way the series may sway. But like P Boat just said off camera, he feels like maybe the Bucks still have a chance without Giannis. I do feel like the rosters are similar as far as the Bucks have more depth than the Suns do, but the Suns might have a little better star power without Giannis. I think so. Let's get straight into the predictions, man. Let's say Giannis, because I don't know the latest on him. I know last time I seen him walking, he was all right looking. He can move pretty good, but I haven't seen him moving side to side and in game speed. So if I had to guess, I would say he probably doesn't play. And if he does, he probably won't play till like maybe game 3 and on or something like that.
Mhm.
But I'm going to go with the Suns, man, as a safe pick. I mean, I don't see why the Suns wouldn't pull it off. And Chris Paul and Devin Booker and all of them are coming off of, 3 series where they all played a decent basketball enough to win, even though we all know each team has been missing a superstar or their best player for every round for the Phoenix Suns. So I'm hoping to see Giannis play so that their season doesn't look like a complete just kind of people ain't gonna respect it as much if they don't get to play it against anybody. So how y'all feel, man? I got the Suns. I say if Giannis comes in game 3 and on, maybe the Suns in 6 or 7. If Giannis plays, I'm gonna go with the Bucks in 6. What's up, Pat? How you feel?
Yeah, man. I think if Giannis plays, deep down in my gut, I want the Suns to win. But if the Greek comes to play, I got the Bucks in 6 games. I just look at the team from top to bottom. One thing that really bothers me about Arizona is they really ain't got no vets. I mean, yeah, they got Crowder and they got CP3, but them boys don't know how to win no chip though. You know what I'm saying? Ain't never been there. Neither does
Devin Booker.
Bucks. But I just look at the Bucks got Middleton, they got Holiday, they got Lopez. Those are vets. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing this for a while now. The Suns got a young team. DeAndre Ayton ain't never been in no NBA Finals before. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a totally different ball game when you going up against a Brook Lopez who's 7'1", 2", who can stretch the floor and can play in the paint when he wants to play in the paint. I think, the Bucks just going to be a little too much for him. I want to see the Suns win because I want to see Chris Paul finally get on one, but I don't know, man. I think the Bucks are going to be too much if Greek plays.
How you feel, Thirst?
I think I'm going with the Suns. Devin's got the whole Kobe thing. Saying when the dudes are speaking about the GOAT for me. They'd be winning, and that's why I think that's why the Lakers won last year, because it's like for Kobe. 24, and it's like, usually when something like that happens, the team usually rallies and wins. You know what I'm saying? He's speaking about Kobe. He's out there to do comparisons, everything like that. So I think he's really challenging that in his spirit. And plus, if CP can play at the same way he's playing, I just think that I believe that the Suns will just take it. They're a real scrappy team to get in after it. They got CP3. Obviously, he's like I said, they don't have a lot of veterans, but you have a great leader, though.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? With a great leader, you can inspire the right people. Obviously, you seen what Ayton said about him and his career. Like, this is like make my career right now. And now we're starting to actually, it is true because we're starting to actually talking about it more. Like we were talking about it last year, but we see he's, you know, that game winner. You know what I'm saying? You see he's starting to evolve more into a better player. And so like that. So I'm riding with the Suns. They're scrappy. They look good. It's kind of like having Kobe. I'm not saying Kobe, but it's like now how Chris Paul gets to come to a situation like this. It would have been nice if you would have played with Kobe though.
Yeah.
You know, if this would have looked like, I could imagine it was like with Kobe.
Yeah, we obviously got cheated out of that.
Yeah.
The only vetoed trade in NBA history. You know, Kobe would have got at least 6, 7 rings if Chris Paul would have ended up going to LA, in my opinion.
And yeah, with Powell too.
Yeah, but they, you know, they was trading Powell though. That was part of the trade. So
Part of the trade.
they would have. The deal was they was about to get Dwight on the comeback. That's why Mark Cuban and everybody was mad because they were saying that the deal wasn't fair. But then they let the New Orleans ended up getting a worse deal from after when they actually did the trade after that. So I don't want to hear that shit. But anyway, to your point though, I want to add also one thing I do think will be a difference maker in this series is Chris Paul got his work cut out for him against Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, we've been seeing Chris Paul hobbling through these playoffs. I don't know how he's going to fare against Drew. And I feel like Drew is going to, you know, possibly put some clamps on CP. And that will be a difference maker in the series. But, I mean, they also got other weapons like Cameron Payne and a couple other guys and Devin Booker, who Drew Holiday can't guard both of them. And Middleton can't guard Devin Booker. But, I mean, Middleton should get off on Devin Booker as well. So, I mean, it's all about the matchups, man. So if Giannis comes out though, they're gonna be in trouble because they just got a lot of players that I don't know if the Suns have answers for. So anything else to add? We can
Is it safe to say that Holiday is going to be the best point guard that CP3 has faced since the playoffs started?
Hell no.
Yeah, think about it.
You said hell no?
Holiday's better than Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
Take that off the list.
So
I don't give a damn who Denver had at the point guard. It wasn't Murray.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take that off the list. Who else they went up against?
And they just beat up on
They just beat up on the Clippers.
Yeah.
That's a no for Pat Beverly. That's a no for Reggie Jackson. That's a no for Raekwon Rondo. Anybody else?
Nah, you right.
This is gonna be the best point guard he gonna face in the playoffs. And
offensively and defensively.
Drew Holiday.
okay,
all defensive team, first team.
Yeah.
He play defense and he can score a 20-piece on you. This is not, you know, and let's don't forget, Drew Holiday know how to post up. He's 6'4". He's not gonna let a little 6'1" scrappy little point guard like Chris Paul just push him over.
Yeah, I think the difference is going to have to be Devin Booker and Ayton as opposed to Chris Paul this series. Chris Paul is going to get his probably when Drew is not on him for the most part. Yeah. But the Devin Booker, if they can't stop him and Ayton, then that's what's going to be a good night for them. And, you know, Brook Lopez can stretch the floor out. So if he can make his shots and keep Ayton from outside the paint the whole time, you know, then maybe the Bucks can live inside the paint a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
I'm wrong. I got to roll with the point guard. You know, in this one, I just think that, you know, for him to be in the league this long, he been doing it for so long, man. Yeah. I was talking to my friend about this the other day, right? You know, I don't think you can really say lockdown defender no more in the NBA. I think you have to change the verbiage, right, to an on-the-ball specialist.
Talking about for Drew Holiday or just period?
Just period. All period. You got to say he's a great on-the-ball specialist because no one's not locking him down. I mean, he's still going to probably make it tough. But I just expect CP3 to go through, you know, everybody, like you said, you got the Darren Williams, the Derrick Rose, all through the league. I don't think he's going to be like, he'll probably give some fits. He'll probably flop and kick his little leg in the air. But I think that with his IQ, his basketball IQ, that, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be able to dictate and get some points. Now, because he looks fresh and he still has the eye of the tiger. I know the first 2 games he looked at all buzzed out, maybe he's a shell shock because hey, you're close. But you know, he had that come to Jesus moment, like, hey man, I'm really here. And after that time where he came up a bad game, He's been doing good ever since. And then the closeout game too.
Yeah.
So I don't just expect him just to be. Plus, he getting a break. He just said, "Hey, I'm getting rested up, taking this time to come in fresh." So fresh CP3 come up in here. I think it might be tough, but I expect CP3 to take that matchup.
Only thing I slightly disagree with you on is I still think there is some lockdown defenders in the league, but I just think the style of basketball, the way that they're playing now, that it makes it seem as if there's not any lockdown defenders because they pick and roll so much. So I mean, I could be a lockdown defender like Kawhi Leonard or Drew Holiday because those are two solidified lockdown defenders to me. But the only reason they don't look at as such the last couple of years is because every coach has adopted the pick and roll every time, or 20, 30, maybe 50 times a game they're doing pick and rolls now. So you're literally, I mean, you can have the best defense in the world, Thirst, but if you guard me and I call for a pick, you're not guarding me no more. So it is what it is. Like, so I mean, now it just make it seem like Kawhi ain't as effective or Drew ain't as effective, but if they stop picking and rolling them off of every best player, you would see how effective they are. And they're, the NBA coaches have too much pride nowadays too to double team a lot of the time. So you don't, when they do this pick and rolls and you see one guy killing like Luka does and like maybe how LeBron does sometimes, they don't just double them and just stop them from going crazy like they could. Like that's what I'm thinking about Luka in the Olympics. Like Luka's in the Olympics, he got Slovenia to get into the Olympics, and I'm thinking, okay, Luka's going to pick and roll the United States to death. And, you know, I don't see anybody being able to stop it unless they double team them. And then they will be able to stop it because you can always stop a pick and roll with a double, but they don't do that anymore. So that's the only thing. I agree with you saying, though. I'm just saying Drew Holiday and Kawhi will still lock a nigga up, but they just can't anymore because the coach going to get them that pick every time to get that man off of them.
Okay, so it's a one-on-one, right? So how would he define it? Because it's like still kind of in the air. So it's like, all right, well, you know, so what if it be okay? That's their person, and they holding them to a certain amount of points. Say if they scored, they had 23. You know, that's now an off game to us. We're like, he only had 23. Like back in the day, like he scored 23 points, but it's like the way he did it. You know what I'm saying? They got 23 points, and it's just like, okay, it was like that was your man. Like, how much time you spending time guarding him? How would you break that down to let more on that? He's like, okay.
You know, back in the day when we grew up, we're gonna fight through those screens or whatever we got to do in order to not get our ass busted by this one guy. Right. But nowadays, the coaches are saying, don't fight through the screen, just switch everything. Yep. So, and that's every team in the playoffs and the regular season. They're just like, nah, just switch. It's a waste of time. I think analytically, they told themselves that fighting through the screens is no longer a smart basketball play. When that's bullshit, because Luka literally be averaging 40 and 50 points on these teams just because of how many times he just keeps doing the pick and roll and he keeps shooting and passing every time. He won't share the rock. Yeah. So, I mean, if you give anybody that's skilled that type of freedom, they're going to look like nobody can guard them. But
that's because you got this positionless basketball now. So everybody should be able to switch off and do this. I'm going to tell you what happens is, these coaches fall in love with guys that are gifted enough to do that and think that every guy is gifted that way.
There you go.
Dwight Howard could switch on guards back in the day.
He was some guards.
He could stay in front of some people and distract them enough to keep them out the paint until somebody can recover. But you're not gonna see Zubac do that. Yeah. I like Zoo, but Zoo don't need to be out there switching on nothing but his man.
But you got these coaches that can only coach guys to do what you're saying. Yeah. So therefore, when the playoff time comes, that you can tell that they can't make no adjustments to this only style that they've been doing, playing defense.
Tristan got some defense too when he's putting clamps on Steph in the playoffs one time.
Who that you said?
Tristan Thompson. He's calling him off like, I got this.
Yeah, he was able to switch off on those.
Yeah, he's mobile.
But if they did that every time, he would get his ass busted.
Yeah. But to do that a few times a game,
yes, he's capable of it.
Get bigs that can do that. To get a 7-footer to stay, like realistically, it shouldn't be too hard for Joel Embiid to stay in front of James Harden. Harden is not fast; he's crafty. But if Embiid can get out of there and just stay out there in front of him 2 or 3 possessions of the game, he might have just saved you a couple points.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, but every center can't do that. But that's why you got these teams that want to go with like a Draymond Green prototype, who's like a 6'8", but he could play a center, power forward, or a small forward.
So they could do that switch
or
every time.
PJ Tucker. But
Yep.
I'm thinking with basketball sense, bro. If you got PJ Tucker in the game, and I got my center in the game, bro, dump that thing down. I want to put PJ Tucker on the block because even if he can keep my man from getting to the paint, he can't stop no damn body from shooting over him. He ain't tall. He's not
James Harden
athletic.
switch off on Tucker or any of these dudes, Joel Embiid. Yeah, they can, like you said, 2-3 plays a game. But if that ends up being his matchup every time, he's gonna cook them every time. They're gonna get hurt trying to guard his ass.
It's gonna be crazy.
So yeah, man. All right, well, that's good insight, man. Let's all right, so I want to talk about so we official we got the Suns and you said the Bucks, Pat.
Yeah, I'm going to the Bucks. Yeah.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. It could go either way, man.
Yeah, right. I mean, I just seen Giannis is doubtful for game 1.
Yeah, so, and he might be out the whole series, and they already know it. They just ain't gonna say nothing, obviously.
Yeah,
the way his shit. Oh, we didn't talk about that though. The way his shit hyperextended though, I was like, Jesus Christ, there ain't no way this man playing no more. So the fact that he's walking like he is now, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I ain't seen a man shit go that far bent backwards, man. That was crazy. Yeah. Like remember, Joel did it
not like that.
Yeah, Joel did the same thing the first round, but his shit wasn't nearly that bad.
Yeah, we said Joel's fat though. You know, what I'm saying Greek freak. He's muscly from the islands. He got that island blood. You know, what I'm saying from Greece. You know, what I'm saying his brothers went up in there.
So that nigga shit bent back like it was hard for me to watch. But I was like, Jesus Christ, that was tough.
Play basketball after seeing that. Oh man, hell no.
For real.
I'm scared, bro.
Yeah, nigga don't want to jump for no rebounds, go for no blocks, none of that shit.
Yes,
But yeah, so all right, I just want to touch on this Rachel Nichols situation. I'm gonna just play the video or the audio of the audio that was leaked of her talking about Maria Taylor, which is her colleague at ESPN, who I don't know if you know Thirst, but she's like a former 2-sport athlete. She was like a volleyball player and she played basketball in college. Mm-hmm. So, and I ain't never heard of Rachel Nichols doing nothing pertaining to basketball besides talking on TV. And I don't know who put her up there and how and why. So let me just play what she said, and then I'm gonna play her apology video after that, and then I'll let you give your take on it. Hold on. Let me put it on my phone so you can hear it good.
You can't share the screen?
She ain't talk on it. I mean,
okay.
I mean, it ain't no visual. It's just audio. I'm gonna put it on the. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up on the screen when we do the show. Can you hear this?
Joyce's son reported off the NBA finals. Because guess what that would go away for Maria to do the hosting for it. Yeah. So I have declined. I don't know what their next move is, but they are feeling pressure because of all of that, and I'm trying to figure out like how to just, my thing is like I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which by the way I myself know personally from the female side of it, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You're not gonna find it with me.
All right, so just for a recap, she basically said, if y'all trying to find more work for this girl to do, don't try to give her my work, basically. And she also dissed ESPN. I want to put emphasis on this. She took a shot at ESPN, and I ain't seen ESPN do or say much of nothing since it happened. But she said, you guys have a crappy history of diversity at ESPN. That's what your employee, Rachel Nichols, said. And, she didn't know her microphone was on, just to add that context. So she got caught basically. And then just so you know this too, because I know you don't know this part, Maria Taylor said after she found out this leaked, she heard it before we heard it. And she said, I'm no longer getting on camera with her I no longer want to do anything with her, basically, since she said that. And then Rachel Nichols then apologized, and I'll play that real quick. You can be the judge and say if she's genuine or not.
The first thing they teach you in journalism school is don't be the story. And I don't plan to break that rule today or distract from a fantastic finals. But I also don't want to let this moment pass without saying how much I respect, how much I value our colleagues here at ESPN, how deeply, deeply sorry I am for disappointing those I hurt, particularly Maria Taylor, and how grateful I am to be part of this outstanding team.
Well, Rachel, I want to say thank you. Thank you for accepting responsibility for your actions. You know, as someone that has known you for a long time, you know, being around you, you have treated me with the utmost respect, and you always made me feel comfortable in your presence. And I know your heart, you know, great person, great individual. I also know Maria Taylor, great person as well. Very, very talented, hardworking, and I feel like she also deserves every opportunity that is presented her way. My only hope is that we have a commitment overall to support each other through this process and continue to support each other through our journey.
No, I agree with Perk. Let me first
Save Richard Jefferson.
Perkins.
Yeah, man. All right, so it's a lot to unpack here. I do want to say, Perk, get the fuck out of here, man. Perk, if that was anybody else, Perk would have been screaming on motherfucking TV, going ham on whoever the hell disrespected whoever he was a fan of. But I'll leave it at that. But I will say Maria Taylor, like we said, is a two-sport athlete. Rachel Nichols is not an athlete. She's not a coach. And so I don't understand what is the reasoning for her being on TV or being her opinion being respected in sports for by any reason, or why players are coming to her defense. And did you see what Stack 5 said? I know you saw it, Pat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steven Jackson said, what did he say, man?
At this point, who even pays attention what Stack 5 talks about?
Shit, if you keep saying this type of wild shit.
Kwame Brown threw that boy in the ocean somewhere and Ben got rid of him.
Pretty much.
Why haven't we canceled Stack 5 fake gangster ass by now?
Steven Jackson says ESPN gave Maria Taylor a sympathy job to placate Black Lives Matter, is what Steven Jackson's take on the situation was, bro.
Now, let me say
Goofy
this.
ass.
If he's saying that to support her and say that, you know, it's a shame
he's supporting Rachel when he says that.
Yeah, but I'm about to say, if he's saying that to say, look, the only reason why they gave her a job is because of Black Lives Matter, and I got a problem with that, that's one thing. But to say that after she done got into it with Rachel Nichols, it seems like you on Rachel's side. You going with who you know or who you think can help you stay in the limelight. Or
she don't got no resume.
Yeah.
The one you defending, she don't look like you, and she's wrong, and she don't got no resume. So the girl you saying got placated for Black Lives Matter actually is more qualified for the position than the girl that you defending. But to your point, go ahead, Thurs. What you got to say?
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised because you already know what people think about you. And I would say this about anybody, you know, in that workplace. If you get hired above somebody, you know, anyone would be like, oh, I need my dog. They'd be like, man, you know, I was here before him. He'd be late sometimes. He asked me for questions. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really just surprised about that. But it's just like, so the whole thing with how everyone wants, you know, Black people just to respond. I'm just like, you understand who cut the check? You know what I'm saying? Of course, stuff looks the way it was, and like we all say, he should have said that, but we got to understand who cuts the check. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that it puts them in an awkward position because, yeah, you Black, you really want to say something, but like my Black folk don't pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? So I have to really, you know.
It don't say nothing though, but when you overly defend a white person that's wrong, you're going to be called the C that ends with the N word.
I mean, like I said, that's my viewpoint because it's like when a lot of Black Lives Matter stuff, you know what I'm saying, they've been killing us, no one really turn up at their job. Like, F that, hold up. They know, hey, I can't take it off. I can't meet the march. I can't go to the march. Whatever happens, you can't do that because you know that that's going to be, you know, who pays you. I think in a lot of situations. So I was like, I understand it. So not until you free, like it's Hov be saying, be free. That's when you can really pop off and really go live because you don't need them for nothing. But it's like when you're under that, you basically have a higher paying job, so you can still be fired.
So whose perspective are you saying that from? I see what you're saying. Are you saying that from Perkins' perspective?
I'm gonna say in general, just when I hear stuff like that, I already know. That's why I read. Like I just know.
When you Perkins and you played a whole NBA basketball career already, you already got millions of dollars allegedly. I don't know his money, but
Right.
what the fuck is your point of you going up there and doing all of that Sambo Negro shit?
Well, he did say I did like how you apologize in the front in the beginning. And I think that's just good. It's like, hey, yeah, you were wrong. And I like how you apologize. I know, it can't
He just
be
don't
all.
keep that energy when he talking about a nigga that he don't like. He's not that nice. He's never that nice. I've never seen Perk that nice to nobody.
But he'll be hung literally if he goes against a white woman on ESPN.
I agree. I ain't saying go against her, bro. But all I'm saying is when you get on TV after you done already yelled on every nigga in the world, and then you saying, "Well, Rachel, I understand," and to me, bro, it gave off of, "Thank you for allowing me to be in your presence." That's what it gave off, bro. This nigga said, "You've always made me feel comfortable, and you've always treated me with the utmost respect." That's what everybody does to you, don't they? Don't they, Perk? But do Rachel get extra credit for making your black big self feel comfortable in the ESPN studios? So I see what you're saying, bro. But I'm just saying, a nigga like Perk, you don't gotta play that game, bro. You can go just be yourself or say nothing. But he's trying to overly support someone who's clearly wrong as fuck. And one more thing I gotta add for this context though. You gotta see what Jalen Rose's daughter said. Jalen Rose, I never even heard her talk before. His daughter talk before today. And listen to this real quick. She said everything you need to know about Rachel. Here you go.
Let's quickly talk about Miss Rachel Nichols. Maria Taylor knows what a generational talent she is in the broadcasting world, so I don't even got to go there and hype her up. Let's talk about the fact that she actually played basketball. And if you want to go there, let's go there. Let's talk about how you're related to Diane Sawyer, arguably the queen of ABC. Nah. You got your job as one of the faces of ESPN because you're so entertaining and talented and so good at it, right? You are a woman in the sports world, and you sat there and you laughed about the Me Too movement, about your fellow women complaining about being sexually assaulted at work. You think that's funny? What really got me is you're tired of the Black Lives Matter movement because you weren't tired about posting about it or making your stupid little storybook monologues about it. Maybe instead of crying and calling Maria a diversity token, you can direct that energy to the people who think there can only be one woman on that stage. And if we're being real, Rachel Nichols is a subpar reporter. Subpar. Boring. Not great. I'm sorry your white privilege didn't work this time. Maybe next time.
No lies detected over my end, man. So I sound like all facts to me. And I didn't even know she was related to Diane Sawyer. There goes my answer to my question and why she even on TV in the first place, talking about basketball. And I wonder why all the basketball players give her so much respect, Anyways, last thing I was saying is just that Kendrick Perkins is the only person, in my opinion, that maybe not the only person, but he's just a guy that doesn't have to worry about the things that you said. He's up here voluntarily just making some extra cash. And you out here overly defending somebody who's just totally treating one of your people wrong, man. That's all. So, just call a spade at the end of the day, Kendrick. Otherwise, you're going to be called all of them other words that you don't want to be called. Ooh. So, right. Trying to keep it PG for YouTube.
I just want to say, bro, the internet is a gift and a curse. But for stuff like this, I love it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because now you get the real reaction of how they feel. You better be careful when you talking smack about people because you never know if that camera's still listening. See, Don't say nothing behind the scenes if you ain't man or woman enough to say it to a person's face.
Facts.
One thing I'm going to do, if I'm going to talk smack about somebody on another phone, you can go tell that person all you want to because when they confront me, I'm going to own up to it. So, I feel like I'm glad Rachel Nichols got caught. Because, now you see, she ain't all that hunky-dory like she been playing like she was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, let's just keep it, call it a spade a spade. She feels some kind of way because there's a black female on the set. She's rising. She really has more in common with these black athletes than I do.
Yeah, she
So
actually
she's a,
played.
so she's a little jealous of the competition. There's nothing wrong with that. But damn, how long have you been having the ball? Pass it up and let somebody else get some shine. It doesn't mean you're gonna lose your job. You already got the extra privilege. You ain't going nowhere.
Facts.
Let somebody else shine. You know all I'm saying? And Kendrick Perkins, Perk was saving his job today. I'm with Thurston. You know, he's not gonna go up there and tarnish his reputation and the extra check because you know he probably got wife and kids at home, and you know he got to play nice. But here's the thing: I would have a big issue if he didn't tell her off the set, "Look, I'm riding with you, but I feel some kind of way." Now, mind you, had she said some disrespectful things like called out her name or called out her race, then it would be a different story. Tonight, I just feel like she was a little jealous. You know, she feels some kind of way. But what makes you think that you're entitled to all the shine when you really have no? Your resume is this big. You ain't hoop. You ain't playing no college sports.
Hey,
Rachel Nichols can't even do a layup right now. I'm guaranteeing you. Doesn't mean that she doesn't know basketball. But what I'm saying is, when people have never played the game and then try to critique things, it doesn't. You know, real athletes, it doesn't register the same. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I feel like you know she apologized, and I really don't think that apology was sincere. I don't want none of them fake alligator tears. Don't get up there and start crying. Now you weren't crying when you said what you said.
Right.
I don't want to hear no damn crying. You can
It's
go
just,
up there. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say
apologize.
I was just gonna say to your point, it's just levels to the knowledge of the game based upon the experience that you may have. That's just life in any subject, in any category. If someone has a certain level of experience in doing that thing, they're gonna have more wisdom than the average person.
Yeah.
And Rachel Nichols ain't done it, so she just don't know as much as she act like she does, and that they give her credit for, and that they have her speaking about. And this girl, she does, and yeah, she should be threatened by that. But at the end of the day, that girl and many other women should be up there and doing that job before Rachel in the first place. But go ahead, Thursday.
And like I said, let me say one more thing.
Go ahead.
If you really worried about somebody taking your shine, at this point, you are big enough to go do your own thing like Jamel Hill. Well, Jamel Hill didn't have no option. They got rid of her.
Yeah, we didn't even speak about that.
So, but what I'm saying, Rachel Nichols got relationships with all these stars, and she still got her good boys that's gonna still be cool with her Stack 5. So, with that being said, go off and do your own thing if you really feel that kind of way. She ain't gonna shit on ESPN too much because she need her job too.
But Rachel Nichols can't go do her own thing because she don't have her own thing. She ain't no basketball player, like we said. So what are you gonna do? Don't nobody want to go follow her on nothing and listen to her talk about basketball, bro. She's a plant, or she's white privilege. She's just walking white privilege. I don't want to see her or hear her talk about basketball before or after this. Same thing with Ramona Shelburne, and it's a couple of more of them. I don't want to hear from them no more. Go ahead, Thirst.
Well, to come after that, geez. Well, to me, I have to always. This is my new thing that I say. I don't really get mad anymore. I just be disappointed. That's just it. You know what I'm saying? When stuff like this happens, I'm not really looking for, anybody to really come to our rescue. If they haven't then, and I don't expect them to do it now. So especially someone that's white and then a woman. So it's like, I know that you're not going to rah-rah. I know that you're not going to do this. I know. Well, I don't even watch them because I just know, hey, man, you're getting a check. Because a lot of times when we want to try to check these people about how come they don't speak about this or speak about that, it's like, if I do that and I lose everything, y'all is not going to support me, support my family. The whole gangster rule, we hold people down. That shit, it's just fairy tale, man. This is really what it is. Hey, man, if I got to pay my bills. Kendrick Perkins doesn't come off of it as a savvy businessman. He might have investments, but just to be like, F this, I'm just going to ride in my investments because, you would have done that before. And I have to go to, to be a broadcaster like a lot of these dudes.
You don't want to have no integrity after you
thing.
played 12, 13 NBA years, then that's on you, man.
I mean, but say, I don't know, Bean Pat was talking off of this. It's like, we don't know what they do with their checks. You know what I'm saying? They always thought you made that money, but you're like, dang, you really are broke. Like when you hear about T.O., like, damn, you're really broke. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these dudes
Right.
like, dang, what you do with your bread? Like Tyson, you're broke. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. I don't expect too much from it. I expect it is
You're
what it
going
is.
broke.
But I'm like, what do you guys want to know?
Don't give you an excuse to be cooning all of a sudden. But go ahead.
But like I said, we can't pay him. Yeah, I mean, we asked this. If he met these people, like, you should have said something. You gonna be paying my bills?
Look at Jamel Hill, bro. Jamel Hill didn't play no days in the NBA. She stood on her opinion, and she ended up doing her own thing, like Pat said, and she got fired from ESPN. And look at Rachel Nichols, able to violate ESPN, call them out for not having lack of diversity, and then at the end of the day, she still got her job, and the ESPN giving her a slap on the wrist.
So what do you want to happen to her? What do you think should be her punishment?
She should get fired. Like Jamel Hill got fired for less.
Well, I
was saying what happened with her.
Hey, I ain't gonna say old girl should be fired because she really didn't say anything other than
I'm saying it.
She felt some kind of way that they try to give somebody her job that she's capable of doing. Jamel Hill, she pushed the right button when she started mentioning Trump.
She violated her colleague and her company that she worked for.
Yeah. Well, she probably don't even look at her as no colleague, to be honest with you. I'm Rachel Nichols, and you are.
Play basketball, and you did it.
She got it right up.
Who is Rachel Nichols? The girl who played.
Some more disrespectful stuff, but she really didn't say too much. For me, like, that's, oh my God, you're fired. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, we gotta probably sit you down. You gotta do this public apology, PA. I do it for my company. We're late, we don't meet deadlines. We gotta go ahead and write a letter and apologize, but you're not really getting fired. Especially
Jamel Hill didn't get to apologize.
On the phone. I'm not expecting it to be fair. I mean, what has ever been fair for Black people?
So I'm not about to act like it shouldn't be, though, just because it hasn't been. That's all.
I'm just saying, there's been so many things that happen with Black people, and no one really steps up to the plate unless you're independent. I never seen no commercial do anything besides.
Now let's see if your boy Stephen A. Smith has something to say about it.
He goes like this. I must say, I'm utterly disrespected right now in Nepal by the way that she did that. To know that our analyst, Rachel Nichols, been in this industry, been with me and you, she came here, did this. I mean, I understand.
Stephen A. is not allowed to raise his voice while talking towards a white woman, man. He ain't gonna do that.
Let's see. Like, is he
he probably gonna get animated.
Kwame Brown, he got little hands. Is he gonna do all that, or is he gonna be on there cooning tomorrow? We gonna see.
Well, but okay, so I have a question. Okay.
Yeah. On my mind, body, and my soul, I'm trying to get control. I gotta hit the goals. Time's not in your control. I gotta make the most of the time slots before we end up in a pine box. Y'all could be suckers, but I'm not. Your soul is for sale, but mine not. Nah, fuck how these niggas feel. I'm trying to get a meal. Cops trying to get a kill. Man, lopsided is the feel. Stop trying to get the real, cause y'all just some cheat.